The Clever Crow and the Milk. The sun was just rising over Willowbrook, the small, quiet town where mornings felt gentle and the air carried the soft scent of dew and fresh leaves. Birds chirped their morning songs, kids hurried toward the school bus, shop owners unlocked their doors, and the town slowly stretched awake. But none of them had as much determination in their eyes as a crow named Cole. Cole wasn't the biggest or strongest bird around, and he sure wasn't the prettiest. His feathers were a plain shade of midnight black. His wings sometimes squeaked when he flapped too fast, and his caw was scratchy like an old radio. But what Cole lacked in beauty, he made up for with one thing. He was smart. Really smart. The kind of smart that didn't brag or show off, but quietly watched, noticed, and figured things out. Cole lived in an old oak tree with a crooked trunk near the edge of town. Every morning, he flew over the neighborhood searching for breakfast. Some days he found berries, some days crumbs near the schoolyard, and some days nothing at all. And today he woke up starving. His stomach growled louder than his caw. The sky was a pale orange, and Cole flapped his wings with hope, scanning the ground for anything edible. But Willowbrook was unusually clean that morning. No crumbs, no leftovers, no fruit dropped from trees. Cole sighed and kept flying. Hunger made his wings feel heavier, but he wasn't the type to give up easily. As he flew over the backyard fences, he noticed a small farmhouse at the end of the road. He didn't come here often because of the big dog named Bruno who lived there, but today hunger was stronger than fear. Cole perched on the top of the old wooden fence and peeked around, hoping for scraps. Bruno was asleep in the shade, snoring so loudly that even the butterflies hesitated to fly past him. Cole scanned every corner of the yard until something caught his eye. A metal bucket sat on the ground next to the porch, and inside it was milk. Thick, fresh, creamy milk filled almost to the top. Cole's heart jumped like a kid spotting ice cream. Milk wasn't just food, it was treasure. Cole flew down quietly and landed next to the bucket. The smell was wonderful. He leaned forward and tried to reach the milk, but his beak couldn't touch the surface. The bucket was too deep and the milk too low. Cole sat back frustrated. His stomach growled again, reminding him that he didn't have time to be upset. He tried sticking his head in deeper, but he almost slipped inside. He tried flapping his wings to hover above the bucket, but it was too tiring. Cole groaned, feeling defeated. The milk was right there, so close, so perfect, and he couldn't get even a sip. Cole hopped around the bucket, thinking. He examined the ground, the bucket, the porch, even Bruno's tail. That was the thing about Cole. He didn't just act. He observed. He noticed. And that's when something small and unexpected caught his attention. There were stones scattered near the fence. Small, smooth stones, shaped by years of rain and wind. Cole stared at the stones, then at the bucket, then the stones again. A spark lit inside him. He remembered a trick he once did to get water from a deep puddle. If you filled a space with stones, the water rose. If he could raise the milk level high enough, maybe his beak could reach it. Cole walked toward the stones, picked one up gently with his beak, and flew back to the bucket. He dropped the stone inside, plopped to the bottom. The milk rippled but didn't rise much. Cole nodded to himself and grabbed another stone. Then another. Then another. Each stone made a small ripple, a small rise, and a small sense of hope. Cole worked slowly but steadily. His wings grew tired, his beak felt sore, but he didn't stop. He kept carrying stones, one by one, dropping them into the bucket. And with each drop, the milk rose a little higher. As Cole repeated the process, the sun climbed higher in the sky, shining warm light throughout the yard. The world around him stayed quiet except for Bruno's snores and the soft plops of stones touching milk. Cole could feel himself getting tired, but he didn't let laziness or frustration win. He kept going because he knew there was a way. There had to be a way, and he had already come too far to quit. Intelligence wasn't just knowing things. It was believing that solutions were possible even when things looked impossible. He finally paused to catch his breath. The milk was almost high enough. Just a few more stones. Cole flew back to the fence one last time, picked up the final stone and dropped it in. The milk rose perfectly. Cole leaned in and finally tasted the milk. It was cold, smooth, and everything a starving bird could hope for. Cole let out a soft, grateful sound, drinking slowly, savoring each drop. For a moment, he forgot about hunger, tiredness, and even the big sleeping dog. All he felt was relief, sweet, satisfying relief. But Cole wasn't greedy. He didn't drink everything. He drank enough to fill his tiny stomach, then hopped back and looked at the remaining milk. He knew Bruno would probably enjoy it later. Cole respected that the milk belonged to the farmer. He didn't want to empty the bucket. He only wanted enough to stop the awful ache in his belly. He gave one last look at the bucket, proud of what he had figured out. Smart solutions always made him feel something warm inside, something that felt like confidence mixed with joy. But as Cole prepared to fly away, a deep growl rolled across the yard. Bruno had woken up. The big brown dog stretched and blinked slowly, confused by the bird hovering next to the farmer's milk bucket. Cole froze. Bruno stood up, sniffed the air and spotted him. "Hey!" Bruno barked, charging toward him. Cole jumped into the air just in time. But Bruno didn't chase for long. He stopped by the bucket and sniffed it again. He could smell the stones, the bird scent, and the milk. He turned his head and watched Cole land on the fence. Bruno wasn't stupid. He'd seen Cole working. And even though he was a big, tough-looking dog, he admired effort and cleverness when he saw it. "You really wanted that milk, huh?" Bruno said in a deep voice that sounded like rolling thunder. Cole nodded, still catching his breath. "I was starving," he said quietly. "But I didn't take all of it. I left some for the farmer." Bruno looked inside the bucket, noticing how much milk was still there. He grunted in approval. "You're smart," Bruno muttered. "Smarter than most birds. And probably smarter than some people." Cole smiled a little. "I just had to think," he said. "If I acted without thinking, I'd have spilled the milk or fallen inside. But thinking saved me." Bruno nodded firmly. "Thinking saves a lot of folks," he said. "Too bad not everyone uses their brain before barking." They shared a quiet moment. Cole felt something new, respect from someone bigger than him. And Bruno felt something too, admiration for a tiny creature who didn't give up. Before flying away, Cole said, "Tell the farmer I'm sorry I used a few stones." Bruno smirked. "He won't mind. He likes smart ones." Cole returned to his oak tree, his stomach full and his heart warm. The breeze brushed through the leaves as he perched on a branch, thinking about the morning. He didn't feel proud because he got milk. He felt proud because he solved a problem no one else could have solved except him. He didn't wait for someone to feed him. He didn't complain about hunger. He didn't panic. He observed. He thought. He tried. And his intelligence carried him through. Days passed, and Cole became something of a quiet legend around Willowbrook. Kids at school whispered stories about the genius crow. Bruno bragged about him to other dogs at the park. Even the farmer laughed softly when he found the stones in his bucket, shaking his head in surprise. Cole didn't let the attention get to him. He didn't strut or show off. He remained the same thoughtful crow he always was. But he did feel a bit more confident, a bit braver, a bit more connected to the world around him. One evening, as the sky turned purple and fireflies lit up the grass, Cole thought about what intelligence really meant. It wasn't fancy words or big books or knowing everything. Intelligence was the ability to stay calm, look around, understand the situation, and find a way through it. Intelligence was asking yourself, what can I do with what I have? And most importantly, intelligence was using your mind before your muscles. Cole closed his eyes as the night breeze swayed the branches. He felt peaceful, knowing he had a gift, a mind that paid attention. And he promised himself he would always use it, no matter the challenge. He knew life wouldn't always be easy. Food would sometimes be hard to find. Problems would be bigger than buckets of milk. But he also knew one thing for sure. As long as he stayed calm and kept thinking, he would always find a way. Moral of the story: intelligence solves problems when strength and luck cannot.